All right, y'all, we got the devil's lettuce, all right, and then the devil's rock and roll given to us through the church and through the government and such. So let's kind of build on these and tie some points of light as we come into we're in the 29 year of the time when California introduced the medical, and the 32 year, that 23 on the back side on that clock is 2028. So as these clocks are like all coming into this little pinnacle system, this is where Texas, that 10th horn, we see them doing some type of system with hemp or a very concentrated system of medical marijuana. This 10th size economy in the world is like the 10th horn that I've talked about in the past, and this is where Texas is like a sweet spot in some ways, and this is where like AI supposedly is being put there and whatever else. But the hemp with the EMP, and then the stuff that's going on there with another type of Wild West. We saw the type of Wild West with the Oklahoma market. So as this Bible Belt is in this garden and it's growing dark, and the THC is there on the cross, and Abbott, the Abotament Empire and stuff, is coming there, and he has the power to get rid of it and all these things. This is where this tree of life can be put in the middle of the garden, saying you can't touch it. This tree of knowledge, these things, you can't touch it, and if you do, you're expelled from the garden and those things. And this is where the beast system, or you're going to hell if you join these things or whatever else. But they can make it to where crypto and cannabis can go along as far as this tree of life and these leaves to gather and stuff. So as this crypto and cannabis and the Silk Road and the Bitcoin and all those things would kind of be going in together, this would be where you would be able to buy cannabis on like a world market, or like where all the cannabis is being produced in Oregon, enough for America or whatever they say, or here or there or wherever, right? And also the land has to be regenerated, and cannabis has 20,000, 25,000 plus users, whatever, depending on what you read. But and then also you can run fuel engines on it. Washington supposedly said everybody to grow it. So these are like different things that we're told about America, about that picture of water. Okay, so when we see these things going on in our world that are like of the evil or whatever, this is where we're being shown these people that you got to follow this, that, or the other. You got to have the knowledge, and God's people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And the sons of God, you are all the sons of God, you are all the sons of man, but they've taken your keys, they've taken your knowledge, they've scared you of the 666, all these things of the new heaven coming upon the earth, and they've trained you that Jesus is this, that, and the other, and every cult leader has his example of how Jesus lives and whatever else, and you're going under the sin, the moon god reflecting that light of that begotten son that's being shown in front of you. Okay, so and you're revolving your world around how he says you're supposed to live your world, and you're coming into spiritual bondage around these things, and Jesus is coming to give you freedom from these spiritual bondages. Okay, we're still gonna have to work, we're still gonna have to do all this shit or whatever, maybe in this way, that way, or the other way, but we're in that spiritual time frame, and this is where like everybody's coming together to work to build up this pinnacle system to where we can go into utopia as we build up this new world or whatever, because this AI and capstone is also a cornerstone to a whole nother pyramid or whatever, right? It's just over here on one's level, but it's up here on another level. Okay, so we got to understand these things, and they've taken the 666, the keys, to where you're trapped in that triangle, that tribulation, and that triangle, the triangel, the angel, the Lucifer that's being cast down. As you're cast down, you're going over to the Satan, the negative side, because you're in the negative space right now. And we see the negative space being shown all around us as a knocking on the door, the no king, and the queen's coming in for the takedown and those other things. So the medical, the recreational, these rivers on two sides can take place in the medical, on the meditation on one side, that recreational. So the recreational, we tie into the Amazon rainforest and the Bezos and all this stuff. We're dropping your weed. Everybody's getting fucking weed everywhere. Okay, so it'd be, anyways. Like, who's the Most High when Jesus come? Well, he got delivered the other day. How's he doing that? I can barely take it. Anyways, we can see how these things could develop. So everything's kind of all been tracked since, for sure, the 80s and 90s, and then they basically, the way I see things, they got everything in place, all right, and then they gave us the computers and the cell phones and all these other things to bring it all together. So everything was set up in a reverse way, and this is where, like, we can see how the creation is done in a reverse way, and the net and all these things that or whatever. And then either way, folks, not to get off in the la la land, but we can see how this clock is going together, and then how, like, these things are setting up and setting the stage now, and then the next election time frame can bring these time frames in, and more than likely what I see is Trump and Elon, or either or both or whatever, being taken out in some way, shape, or form, and then going behind the scenes to do what they need to do. And then you see the 48 coming out early for the JD Vance or whatever, and also Trump has the trials set before him. So since he has the 34 counts, I'm sorry. So since he has the 34 counts, we could see him go into jail in a way, and then the person he's expecting to pardon him, Vance, he may not do that, because we've seen Vance speak negative about him, and since we're in negative space and all those other things, but that's a whole nother little tidbit. But they all tie together, because it all ties to that Ottoman Empire and the THC and whatever else. So either way.